Radical Dude, yeah. And today we're going to talk about polynomials. We hear that word all the time in algebra and it's like, what the? Polynomials. It's a Greek word. It's very simple. The poly means many and the nomials are terms. That's it. So the fancy definition is an algebraic expression consisting of terms. Okay, first of all, algebraic expression. That is a mathematical expression, numerical expression, like how we express. Some of the numbers make you happy, and some of them make you sad, right? Some of them make you want to jump for joy, some of them want to make you think. Those are all expressions. And what is a term? Well, a term, you have three choices. It's either a numeral. Hold on one second. Yeah, hey, how are you? I'm making videos. Sorry for the interruption. It's either a numeral, a variable, or the product of both of these. So, a numeral is just a number. 1, 2, 3. These are all numerals. They're used to represent the number. Okay? The variables are just letters. X, Y, Z. Any of the letters you can think are the variables. And the product means times. So what you have is you have the times of these two. So you can have, here, let me put arrows. So the product is just like 2x, or 3y, or 4z to the third. See, those are all products. I'm multiplying. The z to the third comes from multiplying z times z times z. Okay. So, basically, any polynomial, you could just string any letters together. You can take the x and the y and the squared, you can put a plus here, you can put 3ab, you can put a minus, you can put any of the letters that we discussed, from k, l, m, to the third, to the fifth, to the squared. You can do whatever you want. That is a polynomial. Now, how do we classify them? Okay, let's classify these polynomials. Okay, so classify polynomials. One way to do it is by the term. By the term. If you just have one term, it's called a monomial. So, a monomial will just be one term. It could be x, that's a monomial. It could be 3, it could be 3x. Each one of these is a monomial. As long as you put the numbers and letters together and there's no plus or minus in between, it's a monomial. So you could string as many letters as you want, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That is still a monomial. Alright. Now, another way to do it is by two terms, and we call that a binomial, because bi means two. So I take these two, like the x and the 3, but I can't make it 3x because that's one monomial. To make it two terms, you have to put a plus or minus. So I can either do a 3 plus x Or I could do a 3 minus x. See? Those are binomials. X squared plus 4. Anything with 2 terms, that means you're going to have 1 plus or 1 minus in between. That's 2 terms. Then you have 3 terms. 3 terms we call a trinomial. So now you hook up 3. That means you can use the x, then the plus, then you can do the 3, then the minus, and you can put a letter b there. See? Try. Our favorite ones are ones like this, right? Just making things up. This is a trinomial with a degree of 2, which we'll discuss. So those are the tries. Okay? That's one way to categorize. Classifying is categorizing. That's one way to categorize these. And if you have more, if you have 4 terms, we just call it a 4-term polynomial. And then a 5-term polynomial, 6-term polynomial. We don't use any more of the Greek mixed with Latin. Okay? Now, let us classify them by their degree. That is by the power. See? This is the second power. This one is the first power. We're going to go by powers. Okay? So, now we're going to do it by degree. Well, you can have to the 0 power, first power, second power, third, and then it continues, right? Okay, to the 0 power. Let's give an example. X to the 0 just comes out to 1, right? So anything to the 0 power, or the 0 term, is just called a constant. Okay? It's a constant. Now, if you have it to the first power, you're going to get what's called linear. Constant means it never changes. This stays the same all the way through. No matter what you do, you're going to get 1, 1, 1, 1. Linear means it changes. Okay? Or you can have it to the second power. And remember, a square, length times width, has 4 parts. So this is called quad. Quad means 4, so this is a quadratic. Okay, to the third power, this is, because it forms a cube, they call it a cubic equation, 3 dimensions. Okay? And you can attach anything to these. You could put a 2 in front, you could put 3, you could put a minus 5, as long as the highest power of the variable is that number. You could put another x here, I could put an x squared and an x. As long as the highest power of that variable is 3, it's cubic. Now these, 4 and 5, I just call them 4th degree. I just say 4th degree, or 5th degree, and then I say polynomial. So I would say this is a 4th degree polynomial. This is a 5th degree polynomial. But the fancy words, if you're into fancy words, this one is quartic. I never used that word though. This one is quintic. And after that, you just do 6th degree, 7th degree, 8th degree, and you continue. Well, this has been Radical Dude, and I hope you learned something.